Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast, presents episode 867, Digsite Squad, recorded live on July 13th, 2023. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
I'm your other co-host, Godzilla T.
Boy, do we have a slew of news to talk about today. 343 decided to give us a nice little surprise in MCC, a little bit of a surprise in Infinite, and we got a lot to talk about today.
We got a couple of things.
And we got a little bit to talk about last week and how I killed my streaming setup by migrating my network to a new network solution. Yeah. Basically, for those of you that were not here on the Twitch stream last week, we decided not to do a podcast because there wasn't really a lot to talk about. And we were going to stream some stuff. And I couldn't stream anything because none of my cross-between device stuff worked. Because I moved my network over from an ASUS router over to Ubiquiti. And for those who don't know what Ubiquiti is, it's basically a prosumer or very highly technical network solution. And need to turn on some
It's
settings.
not plug and play.
Not by
just
default.
prove that.
Not by default. I had to turn on a couple features to make UPnP work, which is what allows for computers to kind of say, hey, I have this service running on this port. You can use me. So that didn't work. And then also, apparently all my computers decided to be public internet for their connection to my network instead of private.
I never understood that. You plug in a network cable and it automatically assumes it's a public network.
I mean, I don't know if that's a recent thing just from a security perspective, but on a desktop.
With Windows 10, it's been that way ever since Windows 10 launched. I've always had to change mine to private networks. Every time I don't
remember having to do that before.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, well,
because whenever you open certain applications, it always asks you, do you really want to open this on a public network? And I'm like, it's not a public network. So I go in and I have to change the settings, and then the prompt goes away. But yeah, I ran into that shortly after I switched to Windows 10. I'm like, it was a private network before. Why is it public now?
I don't ever remember running into that problem before. I mean, there's been like one-offs where it's like, okay, you're being silly. So like Wi-Fi, it definitely comes up, I think, a lot more. But hardwired, I hadn't really thought about it. But all three of my computers here were showing as, I'm connected to a public network. It's like, no, you're not. And then when I did that, hey, all my NDI stuff started working again.
Yeah.
The weird part was I got the stuff in the network router stuff configured, and the NDI piece worked with the NDI toolset, but OBS wasn't finding anything. And the OBS remote view that I have on this screen, since I have OBS over here on my streaming PC, wasn't connecting either. And it wasn't until I made all the network connections on my Windows PCs, hey, this is private networks, not public networks, everything started working again.
Mm-hmm.
So now everything works. Yay!
Yay!
And I added these to my stream deck. I can do this. I can zoom. Ha 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 ha. So, fun stuff. Little stream improvements. So, all my stream stuff works now. Everything. Unfortunately, I deleted all the NDI stuff because I thought it might have been one of those things with OBS where you had to delete all the NDI sources to rebuild the NDI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it was just public network stuff. So I had to go in and re-add my camera back into all of my Podtacular scenes and all of my personal stream scenes. And yeah.
Yay.
But it's all working now. So that was my week. How was your week? How was game nights? Because we actually
We had
had
a
two.
lot of fun. Except for we had one person that kept doing everything but what we were doing. I don't know who he was. Somebody kept getting distracted during our campaign night.
I mean, I was just going for achievement stuff. You could have yelled at me to come follow you, but it was like, well. I mean, you were the party leader.
I figured you would take the hint when you saw me just sitting there.
Oh. There was clearly a lack of communication. Well, now I know for next time.
Yeah, I found that.
Sorry.
I really wish they would have done their little bounds differently. And it's like, I'm going ahead in the mission and I don't realize that they stopped at a fob to capture it, but I get the return to fire team instead of it pulling them to me.
Well, you would get the return to fire team, but you wouldn't be the one to die. It would be us because you're the party leader.
No, it did kill me and respawn me back by you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I did that one time because I thought, okay, well, it'll just pull them forward. Nope.
Interesting. I wonder.
Whoever gets far enough away will get pulled back to the group.
Oh, so like you were off on your own and the three of us were off.
Yeah, I was continuing on the mission, and you guys were, capturing a fob or doing a high value target.
We were trying to get the valor point so we could get the wasp for the achievement. GT was focusing on trying to get through the campaign. We were focusing on the achievements. There was clearly some miscommunication.
Well, I kind of figured we get through the campaign, then we can start free roaming the entire mount.
Yeah, that's a good point. We just did not communicate that well. We shall try again next time.
In 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, whenever the next time will end up being. But we made pretty good progress. We got through the did we finish? Yeah, we finished Nexus, right? We got through.
Yeah, we actually did make it through a couple of campaign missions. I forgot where we are now.
We spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out that we had to go to the Pelican to get off the middle island from where we left off. That was fun.
Well, it'd been so long we kind of forgot where we were.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here's your next waypoint. It's in the next island. Okay, let's go to the bridge. The bridge is not extended. Okay, let's find a place.
There's a death barrier. And there's a death barrier there.
Yeah, like, okay, let's try to grapple over. Okay, the gorge is too big. Then I had the idea, we have the skull on. I can grenade a warthog and then grapple the warthog. I did that, and then I stopped at the kill barrier. It was like, well, I'm dead.
We had fun. And I lost my tank gun. I'm sad.
Yeah. How did that happen?
I accidentally picked up a weapon while I had the tank gun out.
Oh. Rookie mistake.
Hey, I lasted the longest.
Fair point.
Some other people lost it in the very next mission.
I mean, I still have my tank gun.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I haven't lost my tank gun. Yeah.
Oh.
You were the only one that lost a tank gun in the whole play session.
No, because I thought when we ended the last play session, it was only me and Pins that still had tank guns.
No, I still have my tank gun.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd already lost it. Okay.
I think
it maybe Confowl lost his.
Yeah,
because I think Confowl was playing with his last time.
I thought it was Pins or Laird didn't have a tank gun when we started the mission, or it started playing last week, and then you lost yours. So
that's all right. I have a rocket launcher now.
What's the Sentinel Beam, like the upgraded one? That's like the meta weapon for campaign. Pince's
yeah, I've seen some videos of people loading up a Razorback with Marines, all with that Sentinel Beam and just melting everything. That and snipers.
Marines are good with snipers, unless you're good at sniping, in which case that works too. But I'm not a great sniper, so I will take rockets.
No, I mean loading up a Razorback all with Marines, all with sniper rifles. Oh, they tear up everything. I did that one time, and a ghost came after us, and it just got obliterated.
It's like an anti-tank round.
all you hear is boom, 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 boom.
Imagine
and
if
the ghost
you could,
disappears.
imagine if you could give the Marines a tank gun. You have a
That would be
of tank guns. I mean, I guess you could kind of simulate it with the 4-player co-op because it's a total of, was it a total of 6 with Marines for the Razorback, or is it still 4? Okay, yeah. Well, you get halfway there.
Yeah, you can have only 5. You know, 1 in the seat and 4 in the back.
Okay, but 6 riders
But
total
even still,
with Marines, 4 total if it's Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just. So yes,
I learned, do not give them rocket launchers. Ever.
Suicide.
Do not give them rocket. You won't be able to drive the Razorback because they like to shoot the ground right next to it.
That's what the extra armor and shielding is for.
Well, you know, that only lasts so long.
True.
Before you're driving around with 4 flat tires.
Or no tires. Just the rims.
No tires. And, you know, you have this wall of flame in front of you where you can't see where you're going.
Yeah. So that was Thursday when we didn't have the podcast and I couldn't stream. So we did some campaign.
Mm-hmm. Friday night, we hopped into the new BTB. It was all on Scar.
Mm-hmm.
I think we played, 4 games on Scar?
Something like that.
Had a good time. We had a couple of capture the flag matches, a couple of Slayer matches. A couple of them we just got annihilated. The enemy team, the other team just locked us down. We could barely get out of respawn before we were dead. I was playing Turret Man by the flag on Capture the Flag with a Warthog. And then I had this one random that just kept grabbing my Warthog and taking off with it.
Sometimes randoms are good. Sometimes they're not. I
understand what he was wanting to do, but I'm guarding the flag. I actually went on, I think one time I went on a running riot.
Nice. Pretty good for a big team.
Well, you know, when you just sit there with a chain gun and just, it's pretty easy.
I had one of the matches that I hopped in a hog with a random and actually got out, got the flag, hopped back in, and we got it back home. We actually had a successful run with a random driver.
Yeah, somebody actually understands the purpose of a Warthog, not just to drive it off the nearest cliff.
Which could drive
did
it well.
To me.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it happens.
No, it usually happens every time I get a random driving.
Well, we can hope, right?
So if I do randoms, I usually drive and let them shoot.
That works. I think there's a lot less crappier shooters than there are drivers. At least that seems to be the case.
It's kind of hard to be a crappy shooter with a turret, but it's possible. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, you can at least be a crappy shooter and not drive the hog off a cliff or drive it straight into a bunch of enemies.
I do have to say that one time, I think I was annoying the other team. They kept trying to sneak around me to attack me.
You were pestering them enough, I guess.
Apparently they didn't like I was guarding the flag with a chain gun.
Hey, it's a legitimate strategy. It's camping of the higher caliber.
No, it was not camping. It's guarding.
It's a legitimate strategy. Slightly random.
They really didn't like it when I hid the Warthog behind the rock.
Could you actually still shoot towards the flag?
Yeah. They just couldn't attack me from the side because it was a pit on one side, the edge of the map, and then the big rock on the other side. So they could only come straight at me.
Smart thinking. Very good. But yeah, we had a good time. We'll be doing it again tomorrow, I'm sure. And we might be doing some additional game nights, and we'll get to that reason why here in a little bit. Before I forget, this other random note that kind of reminded me of something just from a couple of the phrases that I just dropped. They announced the very last season of Red vs. Blue. They're bringing 4 of the original characters back in. Bernie Burns, Matt Hullum, a few others to do one final season of Red versus Blue.
I honestly haven't watched it in a while.
Neither have I. And talking with folks, it seems like Red vs. Blue has kind of fallen out with the mainstream Halo machinima watchers. There's still folks that are like fans of Rooster Teeth that watch it still, but I don't know a lot of people that have watched it,
Mm-hmm.
at least recently. And a lot of the folks that
Well, I mean, for me, the further they got into their 3D animations and stuff, it lost its charm.
Yeah.
I know they were trying to improve the quality of the videos, but to me it really just kind of distracted from what made me like Red versus Blue.
Well, I think it was a combination of a couple of things with regards to the video piece of it, because there was the reliance more on 3D, which, I mean, they were trying their hand at 3D. They were trying to become something bigger than just machinima, which good for them. I mean, that's smart business.
Which I've watched some of their other series as they put out, like Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
That's all 3D animated.
Yep.
And I really liked it. I mean, they did a really good job with it. It's got a good story. It's fun to watch. But it just, like I said, with Red versus Blue, it always intrigued me what they accomplished with just the game engine. And once they started getting heavier into the 3D stuff, it just always seemed to kind of pull me out.
Well, and I think part of it is when they start getting into those 3D animations, the lore started getting a little bit more heavy. And I think because they were relying more on animation, they were trying to be more heavily story focused, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but because of the appeal of Red versus Blue being more of the jokes that kind of incorporate into the game and some of the quirks of the game, you lost some of that when it went to the animation. So I think that's a piece with the move to animation. I think another piece is the stories part, and they just kind of happened to move in the same direction at the same time.
It's like in the 5th season, they had the fight with the I don't remember now. Darn it, I don't even remember the name of the character.
You talking about O'Malley or?
Yeah, the one that had the full face.
Oh, the meta. That was season.
The meta, yeah.
No, that was after season 5.
Yeah, that season. Now they had a couple of good fight scenes there where they did animate it, and it
because it was an enhancement.
The way they did it fit. Yeah, it fit good. I mean, it didn't really pull me out of the story like the later stuff does.
Yeah, it's like, well, we really can't do these kinds of things to show this impact. So, and then there's the whole "protect me" cone, which that's a classic line.
Yeah.
So
why are we here?
So you had.
Why are we here?
You had, I think, like seasons 1 through 5 are like the first arc.
Oh yeah.
And then there was the intermission in between. It was like a 3 or 5 or 6 episode miniseries, and then season 6 through 8 was an arc. I feel like after season 8 started is when it started to kind of tip over the edge for some.
Yeah,
folks.
I think I've got up to season 13.
I think
I have to look.
I was 12 or 13, somewhere around there, like the chorus stuff.
Well, I got the box set that they sold, and I think it goes up to season 13.
Okay, I think the box set I got goes up to 10 or 12.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't see it right now, so I can't tell you.
Oh, there'll be one final box set.
I'm sure. Safe spot.
One final box set, and everything will be done there. I did post in the Discord when they made the announcement of possibly doing a Red vs. Blue watch party on Discord.
Yeah.
Most of the seasons, I think, are posted online. And they have the full season cuts as well. I know for at least like the first 8 seasons. So we could definitely do a watch party in there. If people are interested, let us know. So how many episodes of Red vs. Blue, or I guess how many seasons of Red vs. have there been? I'm guessing this last season is going to be season 20, I would guess. I'm looking at Wikipedia. Oh, no. This last season is going to be season 19. Oh, they couldn't make it to 20. So 1 through 5.
Well, they took that. Yeah, they took that hiatus from it for a little bit. So.
Oh, did they?
They hadn't done that. Yeah, I thought they took a year off.
No, you're right. The last season was season 18. That was in 2020. I didn't realize it was. Wow. So the first arc is the Blood Gorge Chronicles, seasons 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second arc is the Recollection. That's seasons 6 through 8. Then Project Freelancer, seasons 9 and 10. Yeah. The Chorus Trilogy, seasons 11 through 13. The Anthology, which is season 14. The Shizno Trilogy. Oh, that's right. I think that's really went over the edge. That's seasons 15 through 17, and then Zero, which is season 18, and then there's Restoration, which will be the very last season.
Well, I'm sorry to see it go. I've got a lot of good memories of watching it.
But I'm happy they're putting a bow on it, and they're not
just dropping it.
And just grinding it out.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the term, but milking it. They're not milking it anymore. Because it seemed like for a while, over the last 10 years or so, they've been milking it. So the fact that they're actually coming together and putting one final concerted effort with a lot of the folks that actually started the series in the first place, I think is a good move. So, should be good. So we had that little announcement from Red vs. Blue side of things. On the Halo Infinite side of things, we had a nice little surprise this week. The introduction of Squad Slayer, featuring 3 maps remade from Halo 3. And these are an 8v8. This is an 8v8 playlist, which is live now in Halo Infinite. It dropped on Tuesday this week. And it's a lot of fun. There are the 3 maps that were remade were Last Resort, or Zanzibar from Halo 2, the original map there. And the version on Halo Infinite is called Kusini Bay. It supports One Flag, Slayer, and King of the Hill. And then there's Valheim, which is a remake of Valhalla. Supports CTF-3 Capture, Slayer, and Total Control. And then there's Rat's Nest, which supports 5 Flag CTF, Slayer, and King of the Hill.
Ooh, BTB on Rat's Nest? That brings back memories.
It's... I played the heck out of it over the last couple of days. It's been a lot of fun. We might be playing that tomorrow. I hope
I'm sure we'll jump into that for a while.
I hope it's a playlist to stay, and I hope as more Forge maps come out from some of the other games, like take Halo 2, you could do Coagulation or Containment or Waterworks. Throw that in there as a big team map, or Terminal, because now you could actually animate a train.
Actually, the more I think of it, Waterworks would probably actually work with 12v12.
Probably would.
Because that is a big map. Yeah, I mean, even for 16 players, that is a big map.
Yeah, it is.
Like that was, don't get me wrong, Waterworks is fun to play, but that was that would seem to always be the problem with it.
You never could find any.
Yeah, you'd have to go forever before you find anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'd be the guy with the shotgun hiding around the corner.
Or the Banshee.
Or the rocket launcher.
Or the Wraith.
Or the Banshee. Yeah.
One of those.
Wraith I never had a whole lot of problem with, but the Banshee and the guy with the rocket launcher and the guy with the shotgun, I did.
Yeah, shotgun or sniper if you're in the middle building. Sometimes the rockets, but the rocket would be kind of on the outskirts as well. Waterworks is just a weird map. It's either really open or really closed, depending on where you are.
All at the same time.
Exactly. No middle ground whatsoever. Halo 4, you could do Exile. That's probably the best big team map from Halo 4. Longbow,
Longbow was good for Dominion. I mean, the map was designed to play Dominion. It worked really good for Dominion, and I actually kind of miss it.
It has one of those, I'm blanking on the words are failing me tonight, but like kind of that special kind of place. It fits a special niche type thing. with Longbow. So I hope it's a permanent playlist because everyone got super excited when it was announced, and I've seen pretty much all of the content streamers until we had the MCC drop yesterday, which we'll get to in a second, playing nothing but squad battles.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling we'll be playing nothing but squad battles tomorrow for Fragging Friday. Maybe start with some Super Fiesta if it's a small party, but once we break 4, we will probably be in squad battles. We've also got the next Tenrai event, which is coming up next week. Halo posted a little cherry blossom wind thingy announcing it for next week. There's also a Tenrai content Halo Spotlight that they're calling submissions for as well. And yeah. Oh, one more thing. They are hosting another Spartan Chatter tomorrow on Discord. So if you're in the Halo Discord, or if you're not in the Halo Discord, you can head on over to discord.gg/Halo. And if you're around 12 p.m. Pacific time, which is noon, then hop in the Discord and hear them chat about content coming in later for Halo Infinite, ranked experience in Halo Infinite, and a little other Q&A stuff.
And that's usually about the time I start getting busy at work. Yay.
I mean, I'm not super busy, but the last few times that they've had the Spartan Chatter, I've had a meeting or something else crop up. So undoubtedly, I'll probably have something pop up during that.
Yeah, that's right about the time the phones start ringing, people start walking in the door.
You can close the business on a Friday.
Yeah. No, that's just every day.
Oh, gotcha. Apparently, Halo Online is trending on Twitter.
Really?
Well, partly because of the MCC announcement stuff.
Yeah. I wonder how that's doing. The mod, that is.
Which mod?
The Halo Online mod. You know, the one that got shut down.
I mean, El Dorito is still around.
I know it's still around. I have it. I haven't fired it up in a while.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of further development. And after what got dropped yesterday, not sure how much more development is going to be. Let me get to a couple other things before we get into that mainline content, because we'll be talking about this for the rest of the night. A couple of HCS articles. Tickets for the next event are on sale now for Fort Worth. So if you're planning on going to Fort Worth for the next Halo HCS event, make sure you head on over, get your tickets, get everything set up and going. There's a Forge features last week that we did not cover because we didn't have the podcast. Someone remade the Maw map, and it's actually a Warthog run style map. There's an actual Warthog run mode that you download. If we ever get to doing customs again, I definitely want to try this. There's Small Hala. I don't know if you've heard of this one, GT, but it's a mini version of Valhalla that's meant to be played with Mini Slayer. And it looks like everyone was enjoying it last week when it came out. The Pelican is a paper airplane, which is fun. Abandon has been remade from Halo 4. Someone remade the Lone Wolf map, which is the last mission in Halo Reach. And there's a couple other of Forge montage and overview videos for some of the new Forge items in that Forge features article from last week. HCS also posted a Year 2 map rotation update, basically saying these are the last few changes that are going to be made to the HCS Season 2 as far as maps and equipment. Solitude, which is the remake of the Halo 5 map Plaza, which got dropped in a couple of weeks ago to Halo Infinite, will be coming in officially for HCS play. It will support Slayer, Strongholds, and King of the Hill. These maps and mode combinations are being removed for the rest of Season 2. Slayer on Empyrean, Strongholds on Streets, and King of the Hill on Streets. For those that follow HCS, there was a big issue with recharge at the last major event in Arlington that had it removed. They're putting it back into rotation for future plays for pool and bracket play. They believe they resolved the issue. They will obviously look at the map going forward. If there's other unexpected bugs that come up, they'll look at possibly removing the map. But for all intents and purposes, recharge is staying in for the remainder of the season. And then FaZe Clan won the event from Arlington. But also we had an international team actually placed in the top 4 this time.
Nice.
So international squads actually making their way to be a force to reckon with some of the U.S. teams, which is nice to finally see that we're getting some international competition. So good news there as well.
I just was kind of thumbing through the videos that they post in the Forge features. Forge features, and someone, I don't know who because I missed the name, has remade the Silent Cartographer in Halo Infinite. And it looks like they made the entire level, an entire campaign level.
Yeah. Halo Infinite Forge, well, Halo Forge in general has gotten really big.
Do you think they got enough space now?
No. With how powerful the scripting engine is, we're going to have campaign experiences in Forge.
Yeah, if they ever find a way to put AI on Forge maps.
Well, you can.
Like enemies.
Mm-hmm. No, sorry. No, you're right. I'm thinking.
I mean, yeah, you can put script brains on the map and make areas that kill you, but I mean, actual enemies to fight.
Well, I mean, if you script the bots today to be like on an enemy team, and in a theory, you can get enemies that way.
I mean, more like an actual campaign level.
Yeah, like actually have other factions, and I know what you mean. Yeah, it would be interesting.
Playable elites,
basically. So yeah, real quick, Quadrant was the international team. They made it to 3rd place, so getting all the way to top 3 too. Good stuff.
They'll just make it into the top 5. That's impressive.
Well, breaking into the top 4, that's where it really kind of rubber meets the road. But to get to top 3, to get on the podium for an international team at a major, that means something.
Yeah.
All right, now on to the big stuff. We had a massive dump into MCC yesterday. So the mod team at 343 that's been going in and digging through the past games, going through content that's been cut from the game, references, old game builds, and whatnot, released a plethora of content and an article, and also a lot of things that got released yesterday, which would have been Wednesday, July 12th. So 2 main articles that we're pulling from on Halo Waypoint: Digsite deliveries, and there's going to be another Digsite discoveries article tomorrow. So we're going to miss that one for this podcast, and we'll talk about it next week. But there is a ton of content from Halo CE and Halo 2 that they just go through and just lay out what they found. Things from old versions of multiplayer maps to old audio and graphics assets, talking about different things that Gearbox was doing, notes that they found from Bungie while they were making certain maps. There's a whole lot of content that they go through. And then for the content that came out yesterday, some of the stuff that this dig team found came out as stuff that's available in the mod pack. So they didn't officially release them in the retail game, but making the tags available to modders in those toolkits, and tags being like the .map files and the textures and the audio and all that stuff. And people have just packaged them up, put them in workshop items in Steam, and let people download them. So there's now a whole bucket load of new maps. If you go into the mod version or the anti-cheat disabled version of MCC on PC, there is a whole lot more content out there now. There's the remaining 5 Halo Online maps that didn't make it in yet officially, have been made available to modders. Those maps are available. There are some concept maps that were made for Halo 3 ODST that made it available. One of them is a remake of Chiron TL34. In the style of the Data Hive maps and feeling.
Nice.
I was walking through it yesterday. I'm really liking it. It's not the exact same layout. There's some differences with it, but I'm excited. Someone's actually taken all of the Halo 3 maps and poured them over to Halo 3 ODST, so you play them as if you're playing in ODST style. There is... what else do I have written down here? Several remix maps of Gearbox maps that were being developed for PC that didn't end up making it. The Digsite team has kind of freshened those up and made those available as more content for modders to use. There are a few maps from Halo 2 Vista that are now officially in mod tools and playable. So Forerunner Sample and Human Sample, for those that may remember those from Halo 2 Vista days, as maps that you could kind of playtest and play around with the Vista modding tools. Those are now officially available. There is a mode called Party Game Mode in Halo 2 in earlier builds of the game that they found, which is essentially Griffball in Halo 2, using energy swords and Tartar Scavel.
Nice.
Yeah. And he packaged that up, so now you can download Halo 2 Griffball and play it in MCC. There's an AR with an undersling grenade launcher. There are third-person weapons. There's an SMG. And a crap ton of maps.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to go over all the details just because there's so much content in this Digsite deliveries.
Oh my God. I haven't even got all the way through the article yet.
It's a lot. It's so much. They have 4 new team members on the modding team within 343 that's kind of doing this cutting, going back and seeing what's been cut, kind of fixing the nuances between MCC and the retail games when they first came out, all that stuff. So I'm going to read their overviews real quick just to see what they're working on and their introduction to the team. So the first one is Crisp. He says, "Hey, all, you may know me from my zombies-inspired mod for Halo 3. Since then, I've been focusing on community tools for working with the Forge editing kits, or Halo editing kits. Latest project has been Foundry, a solution for turning Blender models into game assets for Halo Reach and later. They've joined the Digsite team to assist in getting cut content for Halo Reach and Halo 4 in Engine. Killzone 64, you may know them from projects such as Dynamics, Halo CE Plus, and as a longtime member of the VKMT. I don't remember what that stands for. Been modding various Halo games since 2009, specializing in 3D modeling and level design. Recently joined Digsite to assist with fixing up cut maps for future release across various games. Next person is Crevel. You may recognize them in the Halo Mods Discord or on work from mods such as multiplayer characters and campaign series. They were brought on to research enemy behaviors and restored Halo 3 assets like characters and scenarios. Since joining the team, they've been using their skills in reverse engineering to get low-level look at what makes Halo 3's AI tick so that they can bring cut characters such as the Guardians back to life. And then Neo T. Akai. Neo joined the team last year, aiding in dev shenanigans, analyzing 30-year-old file formats, the production of new audio assets. Their community projects include VKMT and Odyssey, reconstructing Halo music with the original gear. Alongside game dev, they're a musician and a sound engineer. So there you go. I'm sure Pins has linked it. So thank you, Pins. It's a very long read, but if you're interested in all the content that has been worked on and was cut since development, you'll kind of get a sense of how development, or you might get a bit better understanding of some of the development behind Halo maps and everything going on there. Hey Frizzle, thanks for dropping on by. And then of course the bulk of the content actually comes from what's officially in the game that we can use outside of just the mod tools. So we've got Firefight Join in Progress for custom games. So before you couldn't join any Firefight games in progress. If you dropped out, you couldn't come back in. But now that works, and that also works for custom games browser. So there will now be Firefight games supported in custom games browser for Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach with the join in progress feature. That also means that match rejoin works for matchmaking Firefight. Firefight now supports up to 8 characters or 8 players for customs. 8-player Firefight.
That would have made that achievement a lot easier.
Well, for those that don't have the achievement now, we can do it with 8 players. It'll be a whole lot easier. Yep. 8 players and customs for firefight. Who would
God,
have
imagine
thought?
with 8 players how many choppers you could get.
Oh, gosh.
Can you imagine 8 people running around in
Oh,
choppers
my gosh. That'd be crazy.
on last resort?
Yeah. Just make sure they don't blow up. Because they're not super defensive.
Well, they can take a lot of hits before they'll die. They do it. Well, hey,
smaller
listen.
arms fire.
8 players doing a bonus round.
Oh,
with
gosh.
choppers.
Yeah. It's a good point. They have revised the reach generator defense mode. So that is something that is now back and playable in customs. That also supports up to 8 players. They fixed an issue where if you joined a campaign session, if you joined the session multiple times, the film would actually overwrite the previous film that you would have. So now each time you join a campaign session locally, it makes those separate films, which is a nice bug fix.
Nice.
Halo 4 officially has theater now for campaign and
Okay.
Spartan Ops. It didn't exist.
I'll have to check that out to see if it's theater or if it's broken.
It's theater.
I think you just do that for Halo 5 and Infinite.
Right?
The not broken part of the theater.
Yeah. So they did some work and got theater working for Halo 4 campaign and Spartan Ops.
Nice.
People have already been posting little clips about it. I watched a video earlier today of someone doing the initial cutscene, breaking out, seeing Cortana outside the cryo tube, seeing Chief get out, and how he kind of moves unnaturally over to the podium in front of Cortana.
Well, you're not supposed to ever see that.
Right. They made some of the unreleased maps from Halo 3, ODST, and Halo 2 into mod tools. And like I said before, a lot of folks have already packaged those up, made those into Steam Workshop bundles that you can download. Escalation Slayer has made its way to Halo 3. And an important note about the Halo 3 Escalation Slayer is they actually built this as its own game engine, in addition to like how Slayer, Capture the Flag, and Oddball is its own game engine within the Halo 3 code. They have that for Halo 3, and it's customizable to the point where you can do it in custom games, and you can customize each tier up to 32 tiers of Halo 3 Escalation, customizing what equipment you get on the round, what primary and secondary weapons you get, what grenade type you get, what actions allow for an upgrade of a tier, what action causes a downgrade of a tier, like a melee or a backsmack or a stick. It's a fully new built out mode in Halo 3.
Oh, and it looks like they also added a new controller layout as well.
Yep. There is now customizable controller bindings. So you can rebind your controller completely customizable now in MCC. They even have it to where some of the actions that are normally bound together, like action and reload, for example, you could split those up into 2 separate buttons. This will make fixing the whole flying the Hornet thing in Halo 3 on MCC a whole lot better.
What? Because it's backwards and upside down?
It's the Halo 3 Hornet. It's just weird. But you can have a customized controller preset for each game in MCC. That is something that they added. They also brought in the Halo 3 extra equipment that hasn't been in matchmaking. So the invincibility, the active camo, and the auto turret. They're now objects that you can add into Halo 3 multiplayer.
Well, I forgot about the auto turret.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the little Sentinel Beam auto turret thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. The only place it is in that one campaign mission, the last campaign mission, isn't it?
No, it's also in the Arc. Yeah, there's a couple of auto turrets. They're not like heavily used, but they are there.
I didn't even know where they were there. I guess I just never looked at them.
I think that's the only other map they're
Cool.
on. Yeah. They've added a background video selection, so you can go and actually select which background video you want as part of the main menu.
Oh, so many to choose from. They've got some good ones in MCC.
I don't know if it's like all the past ones, all the past videos, or if there's new videos.
Let's put it this way. They've had good ones in MCC.
Oh, so sure.
I'll be interested to see what's there.
Yep. Mo statues can now be found in Halo 2. So they've added the Mo statue stuff in there. And they've also added acrophobia to Halo CE.
That's not going to break anything.
And I didn't find this in this article, but I know a lot of people were talking about it. With the bandana skull in Halo 2 now, you can ride hunters.
Okay. Didn't know that was an option.
So with the bandana skull, you can now hop on the back of a hunter in Halo 2.
Okay. Interesting addition.
There's a couple of videos out there already on it. A lot of the content creators have already gone and posted, look what you can do.
I'm going to have to fire up MCC and see if I can climb onto the back of a hunter and ride him around.
I think General Heat has put one out. Maybe Hidden Xperia has put out a video or short or something like that.
Yeah. Do a short and use Rawhide for the music.
But yes, lots of content for MCC just dropped yesterday. A lot of it's in the way of monitors enabling it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But still, what we got in the retail version, I'll call that the actual one that you can play without enabling mods, we still got quite a bit. Theater, improvements and upgrades to Firefight, added equipment in Halo 3, a completely new game mode for Halo 3. Lots of little things in here that really just not a lot of people were expecting. There was the Digsite article that went through a whole lot of stuff that they were finding and some of the things that they were putting in, but this was a lot. And people have pretty much lost their minds over the squad battles in Halo Infinite, and then this huge content drop for MCC. So what do you think?
Oh, it's all great. I'm glad to see that they're still working on MCC and making improvements and additions to it, other than, the battle pass stuff, fixing or adding theater to Halo 4 is a massive gain. That was one of my big complaints when Halo 4 launched, is there was no campaign theater. And even the multiplayer theater was kind of busted. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to getting in there and playing with that to see how well that works. See what improvements they've made with it. Not a big fan of Escalation Slayer, but I mean, I'm glad it's in there because there's a lot of people who like to play it.
And just having a new mode in general is really nice to have.
But yeah, I mean, across the board, it's all great. They're all great improvements, even for the Digsite team. The stuff they're working on, the stuff that they've made available for modders is great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Yep. They have the original Sharkoi model from the Halo CE build available in tags. The one big environment that we saw in like the early days of Halo, like the macro thing where it used to be like a squad battle thing, a third-person shooter, that map is available. And apparently they use that map to test a lot of the things that they're looking to improve upon or bring in anyways. There's several new vehicles and guns. There's just a lot of tag data that they just like, okay, here you go, community, have fun. And the community's going to go nuts with this. Something I thought that was interesting looking through the Digsite article too was all the maps that were concepted and built out in Halo CE and Halo 2 seeing them come out later down the pipeline. Like, okay, they were thought of in this early stage, but they didn't make the cut. But here's the other maps that they influenced later on down the road. Like, there's a swamp level map that's called Swamp Thing. And if you look at the picture, it's very much Backwash, Halo 2. And that was a Halo CE map originally. And then you look at some of the early models of, or the early versions of the Halo 2 maps, and kind of the inspiration that they have there. So it's all just really interesting. Apparently there was a map called Conflict that was going to be a remake of Prisoner from Halo CE into Halo 2. There's a multiplayer map called Grotto, which was basically an extract of the Delta Halo mission where you're going through the Jacker sniper alley.
Minus the Jackal snipers.
Right.
Spartan snipers, but no Jackal snipers.
Rodentia, which would have been a remake of Rat Race from Halo CE, was being considered in Halo 2. And then all the sample maps that came with Halo 2 Vista, Covenant sample, Forerunner sample, Human sample, all of those are now officially released.
I miss Rat Race. Especially with rockets.
So there's a lot. We've got a lot more to process. I'm sure with the next blog that's coming out tomorrow from the Digsite team, we'll have a lot more to discuss tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, next week. But yeah, 343 knocked it out of the park this week.
Mm-hmm.
They've been knocking it out of the park a lot lately. Like some light bulbs finally went off.
Well, I mean, this, not to take anything away from 343, but like this MCC update, something they've been working on for months. I mean, long before any of this other stuff went down. So,
well, it's been 6 months and more since the last MCC update, apparently.
Yeah.
According to the article.
Yeah, but you don't know how much they've worked on it before the last update, too.
No, that's true.
But anyway, that aside, it's nice. The thing that I like to see is they're still putting effort into MCC. I mean, those games, I don't play them as much as I used to, but all those games have a very special place in my heart. I enjoy all of those games for different reasons with each game.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy those games. I have fun with those games. So I'm glad to see that they're still paying attention to them. Because it's something they really don't have to do.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're talking about a game, games that are 20 years old. I don't know that many games that are 20 years old that still have attention from any kind of developer.
It's a big deal. Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Anything else to add there, GT, before wrapping it up? I know this kind of came as a little bit of a surprise to you since you said you've been kind of under a rock.
Oh, yeah.
As far as Halo news goes.
I've had my head stuck in the sand all week. It's been kind of a crazy week at work. So, yay. And next week is not looking to be any better.
Well, I am contemplating hosting a second game night for a little while, just because now we have all this new content in MCC that I'm sure some people want to do. So we might do an MCC night somewhere in the mix, maybe a Wednesday thing. We'll let you all know on socials and Discord what we end up deciding. But keep an eye out for that.
Master Chief Monday.
I like the ring of that one too. We'll see. Mondays or Wednesdays probably going to be the days that it would probably work best, but we'll see. And we'll play that out for a little bit. We still have to do our Cursed Halo run at some point.
I probably ought to get that installed.
I did install it. There's a little bit of a fix that you have to do for it because the manifest file for the mod itself says it's only up to a certain version, and the latest update for MCC pushed it past that version, so you have to go and modify a file, but it's pretty easy. Look for the topmost comment on the mod, and it tells you what to do. It's a very simple fix.
Well, I still have to install MCC again, so.
Well, there is that, I guess. Just a reminder, there is a Spartan Chatter tomorrow on the Halo Discord, so head on over to discord.gg/Halo to make sure you go and check it out if you are available tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. You can also check out our Discord, podtacular.com/Discord. Join up over there. That's where we also do voice for our game nights, Fragging Fridays, which is going to be tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by GT. And maybe do some squad battles. Because I'm telling you, it's addicting. It's a lot of fun. Like, there's something about that 8v8 formula that works.
Yeah. And as a reminder, remember that you can join a Discord chat from your Xbox. So you don't have to have a PC to be able to join in on voice chat.
That's true.
You just have to be signed up for the Discord.
Yep. That'll wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow. Out here.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. You can find our podcast on your favorite podcasting service and listen to us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Check out our website, podtacular.com, and join the community on Discord at podtacular.com/Discord. If you want to play Halo with us, come join us for Fragging Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Become a supporter of the show by sharing the show with your friends and family. Or help keep the lights on by subscribing to us on Twitch, donating via PayPal, or becoming a patron alongside Confowl, Pins Halo, and Prestige Ace. Until next time, keep on fragging trucks.